Hey y'all, it's your girl Jackie, and yes, I am back with another video for you guys. And y'all already know what the topic of discussion is. We are talking about divorce sisters, y'all, today. Y'all, if you have not been tuned into this show, I don't know what to tell you. This show is so damn good. Like, I'm not shocked because of the cast. Um, I already knew that it was gonna be better than the original sisters. And, based off of who they selected to be in this TV show. Main reason that I was looking forward to this show was because of none other than Latoya Luckett. For those of y'all that know her work from Greenleaf to the roles that she played when she was younger, from Destiny's Child, she is an amazing actress. She acts down. Do you understand me? Every role that she is in, she absolutely kills it. Latoya Luckett as Rashida, First Lady, on this show is nothing short of brilliant. She plays this role to the T, and I love every minute of her on screen. Now let's talk about Ron Rico Lee. For anybody that knows about Ron Rico Lee's work, y'all already know that this brother is one of the ones. Okay, he's been in everything from Sister back in the day all the way to some big name movies that he's been in. And he absolutely kills every role that he is in. But this role right here, especially this second half of this season, baby boy has been in his motherfucking bag. Do you hear me? Acting his ass off. Baby, I felt everything through this screen when he told that heifer, ain't nobody talking to your ass. I said, ooh, William ain't playing with Geneva ass. Geneva, he ain't playing with you. Man. I'm gonna get it to Geneva though. When we get up into this, I'm gonna save her ass for last though. But y'all already know what I came to do, and y'all already know I'm gonna get in her ass. But I'm gonna say that for last because I'm gonna be talking about her for a long ass time. So yeah, y'all already know how I get down. So anyway, with that being said, shout out to this brother for the work that he's done and the work that hopefully he will continue to do. Shout out to Latoya Luckett, homegirl, you doing your thing, and keep doing your shit, girl. Cause y'all two are killing this show. Anyway, y'all, we about to get into Divorce Sisters, and before I even get started, y'all, to my returning viewers, thank y'all for coming back and continue to stick with me. I know I go MIA every once in a while, but y'all still here. Y'all still be waiting on me to drop these videos, and I appreciate it. For my new subscribers, welcome to my channel. Hope you enjoy what you hear. And make sure y'all all comment, like, and subscribe. And make sure y'all hit that notification bell so y'all can get my videos every time that they drop. And without further ado, y'all, let's get into the nonsense that we have been a witness to for this first season of Divorce Sisters. Now, the first thing I'm going to talk about is trifling ass Franklin and Naomi. This whole situation is just a whole ass toxic mess. I believe that they are already divorced and they are just doing this whole back and forth, suing each other for basic ass shit. Naomi has this painting of her brother that her brother painted. Excuse me, y'all. Her brother painted this picture before he died. Her brother, I believe, passed away due to suicide. I could be wrong, but I know that he passed away. I believe it was because of suicide. And before he passed away, he painted this painting. Now, this painting is the one thing that Naomi wanted out of the divorce, and the one thing that Franklin knew meant the world to her, and he refuses to let this woman have this painting. He goes as far as to try to sell the painting off at a church auction and try to sell it to the lowest bidder. He gets up there and he humiliates this woman in front of everybody. And then when the painting actually started to sell for a lot of money, he decides, especially when one of her friends is going to buy it back for her, he decides to up the amount to what he had to give Naomi in the divorce because he's mad that the friend was about to buy the painting for her. This is how trifling and manipulative and how much of an asshole this man is. So when it comes to Naomi, I get it. I get why she's going crazy and why she's doing the things that she's doing. Because Franklin ain't shit. And I ain't got no sympathy for his ass whatsoever. He's a bastard. And I said what I said. It is what it is. So whatever happened to him happens. But Naomi girl, you gotta chill. Sometimes you gotta get your emotions in check. You gotta stop letting that man have all this power over you because you about to be in jail, my good sis. You are about to be in jail. You about to do some type of time. Okay, you done already burnt that lady back. Um, got her laying face down for the whole season in that damn hospital bed. And now you didn't hire your little stripper boo to unalive this man. And then tried to use your son as an alibi for that whole ordeal. Baby. And Grayson picked up on that shit immediately. Immediately, he was like, "No, you want some bullshit. I already know you got something to do with this. You tried to kill my daddy because why the fuck you here? Because we just talked to you and you had a little problem with, my girl because she was white. Now all of a sudden you want to come and hang with us? Nah, you want some fuck shit. He already knew what was up, girl. And then you get back in town and you want to play dumb with the person that you're supposed to be paying and stuff. And now all of the police in Atlanta is sitting outside this restaurant waiting on your ass, girl." Yeah, and Naomi, I mean not Naomi, but your friends tried to tell you to sit your ass down. The sisters tried to tell you to sit your ass down and stop worrying and let that shit go with Franklin and let Franklin, do what he gonna do. But you not listening, girl. Like I said, I get it. I get it. I get wanting to get your get back, but sometimes, girl, it just ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. So, next topic of discussion. Now, y'all, let's get into Bridget and Vaughn. Vaughn got on my nerves as soon as he came on the scene. Just ignorant, ghetto, straight young nigga energy. I can't do that at all. Sit your ass down somewhere. I don't even understand why Bridget with him. You much older than he is. There's no reason for it. You to have somebody in your house that's constantly quitting their jobs and you got to go out looking for a job for them. Absolutely not. I'm not going to find you no job. You're going to find your own job. I don't understand. Ooh, couldn't be me. I'm sorry. Absolutely not. And I refuse to believe that I know it's actually women like this, but I don't understand. I'll never understand it. I ain't built like that. Sorry. I'm built in a way if you ain't got yourself established, you don't have at least your own place, your own vehicle to get around in, don't approach me. You can't even approach me. You can't ask for my number. You can't do none of that. None of that. We can talk and kiki and all that stuff. Don't ever try to ask for my number or try to make something happen with me when you ain't even established because you will not be driving my car anywhere. You will not be staying with me until you get yourself together. Call it what you want to call it. Say what you want to say about it. You're not doing it. You need to be able to get yourself on your own feet. I'm not helping you. cruel as it may sound, I'm not doing that. I'm not built that way. No, you have to come correct when you're dealing with me. It is what it is. We not doing the you stand up in my house and every job you get you want to quit because you don't like the way somebody talk. You not finna quit a job because you don't want to do no real work. No, we not gonna do that. Absolutely not. You're not gonna try to emotionally manipulate me by acting like you gonna commit suicide if I kick you out of my house or if I stop dealing with you. Absolutely not. I ain't never understood somebody that'll do some shit like that. Hell no. You got to go. You have to get out of my space. I don't even want to spend too much more time on Vine ass. This the whole situation is just a big ass no for me. And it is what it is. Now, let's talk about Calvin. I don't even know what his purpose is supposed to be on this show because when he first came on the scene, you could tell that he liked Bridget and stuff like that, and he kept telling her like, "You don't need to be with that little boy. You need to be with a real man," and all that stuff. And this whole time, I'm thinking this man's single. You know what I'm saying? And he just, have a crush on Bridget. Come to find out, this man married and getting a divorce, and the wife is crazy. She think he's sleeping with Bridget. Yeah, she done came over to the girl house and tow her car up. Then follow him over there talking about, "Oh, I knew you was sleeping with her," and he was like, "I'm not sleeping with her." And what the bam? Apparently, according to Vaughn, he got a whole picture of Bridget in his locker at the job. Nah, something off about Calvin is. I promise you it is. Next, y'all, let's get into Rashida, Jeff, and these damn kids. Y'all, Pastor Jeff and First Lady Rashida been going through it with these damn kids, okay? First, they had some shit going on with this character of Myron, but I ain't even finna go through all that because I don't really care about his character. Anyway, if we have to come back to that, then we'll have to come back to that next season. But right now, I'm just going to talk about these damn kids. So, we come to find out that Laz got a little drug problem, okay? We come to find out in this second half that he's been, smoking weed and stuff like that that's laced with fentanyl. So we almost end up losing his ass because he didn't OD'd on the shit. And now they gotta, figure out who at the church. I don't think we still ain't found out who at the church he was getting the shit from. At least we didn't see no confrontation. At least I didn't. I don't know. Maybe I missed it or something. But I don't think we ever got that, confrontation with this dude at the church that was giving this boy this weed. But, Jeff, had a conversation with him and stuff like that and even had to take him down there to the morgue and be like, "Hey, look, this what can happen to you if you keep on doing this." You know what I'm saying? There's been too many kids that came in here that they passed away because they smoked some shit that they didn't know was laced with something. This ain't the way that you want to go. You know what I'm saying? And then, in the midst of them finding out that he was on drugs, he didn't put his sister on blast talking about she having sex with two different dudes. So, Rashida had to have a conversation with her, and she was like, "I ain't having sex with nobody." Now, I don't know if that's true or not, because, being, a first, a pastor's kid, those y'all that been watching my channel, y'all already know this. I done said it a few times. My father was a pastor, so I know what it's like to be a pastor's kid and not wanting your parents to know certain things that you were doing that they didn't know about. Now, I wasn't quite as young as her when I started, experimenting with things that we were taught not to do while we were growing up in the church. But, and I actually was an adult, but still living in my parents' house, if that makes sense. And, you know what I'm saying? And there was that, even at that age, I didn't want my parents knowing about, certain things that I was doing. Because it didn't line up with what I was being taught all my life or whatever. So I understand, where, you can put on this act as if I'm not doing nothing and all that stuff like that. And the whole time you doing it, but you don't want to disappoint. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to bring shame onto your family. Because it's a whole nother world growing up in the church. It's a whole nother level of you have to, I don't want to say act the part, but you have to, you represent your parents when you're out and about. People know you. So they see you doing things that you're not supposed to be doing, it's gonna get back to them. You know what I'm saying? And the last thing you want to do is cast this, bad image about your family by doing some stuff that you're not supposed to be out here doing, basically. And so I get it. So whether baby girl's telling the truth or not, I can't say. I just say I'm just saying, I've been where she's been. So I not at that age, but that it's tough growing up in that kind of atmosphere because you live a very sheltered life for most of your life. You know what I'm saying? And when you get older, you want to kind of do your own thing. You want to be like, look, I want to experience something. I want to see what's on the other side. And I'm here to tell you, come to find out, you was better off just listening and staying in that, I don't want to say protected bubble, but that covering. You know what I'm saying? The people that go to church understand what that means when I say that covering. Um, you know, because it's a reason why your parents are telling you things that they want you to, that they want you to listen to because they've been where you've been also. And sometimes when we looking at our parents, especially with their pastors, first ladies, you know, you almost see them as perfect, and you don't see them as the human beings that they are, and that they are also flawed too, and they made mistakes in their life as well, and they had a life before they lived this one that you're living, so they know what they're telling you. You know what I'm saying? And we just when you're young, you don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? As you get older and you become an adult, and you have kids on your own, then you start to understand, okay, this is why my parents was telling me things, because they've been this, they've lived a life that they don't want me to live. So I'm glad that we brought this storyline on here, and because I can probably relate to this one the most. And I'm glad that we saw the talks between Jeff and his son, because it was much needed. Even when he had to get tough with his son, I was ready for him to knock fire from last, the way he was acting. But it is what it is. He didn't have to do all that, but he did have to, get, he had to get with, last. And I'm just glad that we had the outcome that we had, and that, last is okay. Now on to Geneva and William. Baby, I got to clear my throat and drink me some water before I finish this right here, because my throat needs to be clear. It needs to be clear before I go in on this sample, okay? Geneva, bring your trifling, conniving, disgusting, diabolical, deranged, non-acting, nasty ass attitude having ass here. First of all, who the hell are you mad at? Who the hell has done anything to you that you got to be sitting up here acting like somebody didn't just did something to you? You the one that had the affair, young lady, with your husband's best friend 6 years ago. You the one that conceived a child from that affair. You the one that can't let go of this relationship that you had with this person that you had an affair with. You the one that's obsessed with this man and what's between his legs. You are the one with the issue, hon. So who the fuck are you mad at? I'm really trying to figure it out. Now, I ain't going to go back all over the whole story because y'all watched it and y'all already know what's going on. So I'm just starting from the second half of this season, where William starts to find out that Anika is not his kid. And when, like I said in the beginning of this video, Ronrico Lee put on an epic performance. This man was in his bag this second half of this season, killing this shit. Baby, when he told Geneva to take her ass home when they was in that hospital room checking on Anika, he looked at her like he was about to lay her up in the bed next to Anika. I was like, you might not even want to go back to the house. You might want to go over there to Rashida's house or Bridget's. No, but no, going over there past them house because you might need to be covered for the night. So I need you to go on over there because yeah, you might that might be the safest place for you under the presence of God. Yeah, that's where you need to be at. Okay, because yeah, you done messed up, and William ain't playing with you tonight. Um, and so after that, William continues to spiral, and he's trying to get to the bottom of this nonsense. Geneva's over there, keeping on trying to tell him that it's a mix up with the IBF. William knows she on bullshit. He knows his wife. He knows when she's lying, and he knows that she's on some fuck shit. He ain't having that shit. He goes back to the house, and she's trying to talk to him and stuff like that. He don't want to talk. He like, I don't want to talk to you unless you about to tell me the truth. And if you can't tell me the truth, then I don't want to talk to you. So he ends up going and trying to get some counseling from Jeff at the church. And, Jeff's trying to talk to him and he's like, I want to say what I want to say, but I can't say what I want to say in here. And so he says, well, let's go, to the house or whatever like that. No. He says, let's go. Maybe we can go to dinner or something like that. So he suggested a double date with him and Rashida and William and Geneva. So they end up going to this little double date or whatever like that, and they start talking, and William's still trying to get answers from her, and you know start talking about all the things he used to do when Geneva was pregnant and stuff like that, and Geneva still wouldn't talk. Geneva still wouldn't be honest. And so when, during the midst of this, while he's telling his, story about how he used to go in there and used to pray for her while she was pregnant and stuff like that, pray for her belly and stuff like that, you know, um, Geneva started crying, started trying to talk, and when William looked at her and said, "Ain't nobody talking to you, baby," I said, "Oh no, William is not playing with you, Geneva. He is not playing with you. That man is about to reach across that table and choke the little hell out of your ass. Do you realize that right now? Stop playing with this man and tell him the truth. Because he is not stupid." And so then, she still wouldn't do it. So she was like, Jeff was like, well, let's go back to y'all house. How about that? Let's go back to y'all house. You know what I'm saying? Since we're not getting anywhere in here. So they ended up going to William and Geneva's home. And was it William and Geneva's home? No, it wasn't William and Geneva's home. They went to Jeff and Rashida's house. And they went over there and they continued the conversation and stuff like that. And so Jeff like asked him to tell him how he met Geneva and stuff like that and stuff like that to see if that would help. And so when he starts telling the story and stuff like that, Geneva starts getting really emotional, and then she eventually comes clean and says, "You're right. She's not. You're not her father. There I did sleep with somebody else and stuff like that. You're not her father." And he said, "Well, finally, some honesty. You know what I'm saying, like that." And he said, "Who's the father?" And she's like, "I'm not gonna tell you that. I can't tell you that. I'm not gonna," and stuff like that. And she goes, "Do I know him?" And he was like, she was like, "I'm not gonna tell you that." And she just kept crying and stuff like that. And he was like, "Well, at least tell me this." He was like, "Do you love him?" And she just started crying and didn't answer. She was like, "That's all I need to know." And he walks out, he all emotional and stuff. Baby, the performance that man put on, y'all. This might, like I said, this might be some of Ron Rico Lee's best work. And he played the hell out of that. He played the hell out of that. He is killing this role. Um, he takes off. He goes to a bar and he finds himself a prostitute because he like it's time for some get back or whatever. In the midst of this, Geneva then took her ass over there to Tip's house. He's sitting outside Tip's house because her and Jovan, the guy that she had the affair with, William's best friend, is up in there. He has since started dating her best friend since he couldn't have Geneva back. And more, Geneva has just been getting jealous, been treating Tip all types of ways. So she knows at this point that they have now elevated their relationship to the point that they're now sleeping together. And so she's sitting outside the house. Now, Rashida had been calling Tip all day to try to talk to her. So she's on her way over to Tip's house to talk to her. And when she gets there, she sees Rashida outside. And so she stops over there. She talks to her like, hey, you need to leave. This is not healthy. This is not a good look. What the bam. And she tells her, hey, I'm going to leave. So finally, Jovan ends up coming out the house and she pulls up beside him and she gets in his car and they go at it. Like, why are you doing this? You need to leave her alone. You know you want me and all this stuff like that. And Jovan is like, I'm feeling Tiff. We want the bam and all this stuff like that. And when Geneva starts to get real upset, she's like, you know you want to be with me. Why are you playing these games? He was like, well, you leave your husband and I'll leave her alone and we can be together and with our daughter. And she just was like, no, she just didn't want to do that. So he said, well, it is what it is. I'm not gonna, keep playing these games with Tip what the bam. And so she's like, well, fuck you and stuff like that. She was trying to sleep with him and stuff, and he was like, no, I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing that. I'm good. And she got mad. She like let me out of this car. So now she all in her feelings because she done got rejected by Jovan. She gets out the car and she goes over there. She goes home. Talking about, I'm gonna go home and fuck my husband. And he was like, good. So she going over there. And unbeknownst to her, he got this prostitute in the house. So she goes over there. She get mad. She's like, what the fuck? What the damn? That last thing we see, she jumping over the damn couch on this lady. The lady ended up pushing her off of her and she ended up leaving. And so, then she ended up getting to it with William. And next thing we know, she going outside his head with bases. She slapping on him and all this stuff like that. And then William said enough is enough. He hauled off and he slapped the hell out of her ass. I'm like, well, had her bitch putting your hands on her. Everybody ain't gonna take that shit. Some men gonna hit your ass back, and rightfully so. And I ain't mad at it. Keep your hands to yourself if you don't want to get hit back. You ain't no victim when you the aggressor. And then, after he slaps her, she said that, oh, you ain't got no business hitting me, so now I'm finna stab you. And stabbed this man. And then left him on the floor and left out the house like her daughter wasn't sitting up in the house. Oh, no, baby. You needed your ass whooped for that shit. And then she gonna go up there and to the church and tell Rashida that, William hit her, and so she stabbed him like she wasn't sitting up there doing all that stuff that she was doing. And so they all end up back at the hospital and stuff like that after, they go over there to the house and, they call the ambulance and stuff like that and they get William taken to the hospital. Jovan tells police that he's Jadiva's lawyer and all that stuff. Baby, all hell broke loose in that damn hospital when, Jeff caught Geneva and Jovan kissing. And baby, when they came back around there and, Jeff was like, enough is enough with this mess right here. And he let all that shit know that he seen them two kissing and Tiff was looking up like, what? And then Geneva started spilling all the tea. I'm like, you should have been, don't we trying to act like you doing that now? You should have been telling what was going on long before this. Now you want to come clean out that your ass caught up? Okay. And so she started telling her, and when she started telling Tiff, this is all your fault because I told you to stop and you wouldn't stop. And I'm like, how the hell is this her fault? No, bitch, you having the affair. It's the fault of yours for having the affair in the first place. He came back for me. He only messing with you to make me jealous. And Anika, his daughter. Baby, the way that Tiffany was looking at Jovan before that, before them credits, the end credits came on, Jovan, I'm gonna need you to probably try to make your way away from Tiffany. You might want to be as far away from her as you can, because I'm pretty sure if she gets within grasp of you, that she about to lay you up in that hospital bed right next to William ass. You about to be laying right up in ICU fighting for your life, right next to William. If Tiffany gets to you in that hospital, I'm just letting you know you might wanna move around. You might want to get up out that chair and move around, because I'm pretty sure my girl Tiff is about to lay your ass up in one of them hospital beds. I'm just letting you know. Um, yeah, this is a mess, y'all. This is a mess. Geneva need her ass whooped. Giovanni need his ass whooped, because he is the devil incarnate, and Geneva ain't that far behind. She needs her entire ass whooped.